Welcome to the KZGN News. Today we're covering the City Council motion and conversations with the Casino Project developer and Timbashaw Tribe chairman, CERT training results, the May School Board meeting, the Ridgecrest Planning Committee meeting, Ridgecrest Republican Women's Federated Luncheon, an upcoming DUI checkpoint, followed with the news and information you've requested, gas prices.
From the Rademacher Hills to Bee Mountain and the mighty Sierras, Ridgecrest to Inyokern and China Lake. This is your news for the Indian Wells Valley with the KZGN News crew.
Ridgecrest City Council voted at the Wednesday night City Council meeting when Council Chamber Acton made the motion to approve the Municipal Services Agreement in concept and directed staff present the final agreement for signature at a subsequent meeting with changes described by City Attorney. After a second by Councilmember Mower, the motion carried by roll call vote. 4 ayes, Mayor Breeden, Council members Acton, Thomas, and Mower. There was 1 no from Councilmember Sanders. 0 abstained, 0 were absent. After Wednesday's vote, casino developer Nigel White and Timbashaw Tribe Chairman George Golson sat down for a Ridgecrest talk. Afterwards, White shared how he and Golson teamed. When asked, both men were forthright with their Christian faith. White is a Methodist and Golson of the Foursquare denomination. Both raised their children in Christian schools. When pressed to clarify whether they would consider a casino-like Dave and Buster's type business model as opposed to a gambling casino model, and whether their decision was due to the capability of securing a loan, White reiterated what Chairman George said. It's very difficult for tribes to start a business due to their economic distress. White described Dave and Buster's as a sort of trademark business model and said, while it's entertainment, he said, we've always felt casinos are entertainment, where you wager live money against the house. He explained, with Dave and Buster's, you're playing with tokens. White said, it's a little bit like an amusement park or circus with tokens, air hockey and games and stuff. A casino, like Dave and Buster's, is like a Dave and Buster's on steroids. Expressing my concern to these Christian men for the biblical warning, it would be better a millstone were tied around our necks and we were cast into the sea than that we would cause one weak among us to stumble. White replied, people get addicted to various things. A very small percentage of people do or can get addicted. As for whether they would consider the more benign business model, White said, at the moment, the answer has to be no, because why would we sort of take the city council and its people on this path? He concluded, every place I know that's opened a casino has eventually welcomed it with open arms. Expressing his belief concerning the casino, White said, the city council did the right thing for the city. He maintained, eventually things will calm down. Community Emergency Response Team Leaders issued certificates to 7 from the community, including yours truly, who completed and passed basic training for the Community Emergency Response Team Saturday. So far, CERT has trained around 200 people in Ridgecrest, including 15 to 20 teenagers. According to CERT team leader Kathy Utes, a lot of college campuses have CERT programs. Utes said, people take their CERT training with them. CERT falls under the Ridgecrest Police Department, where Sergeant Ryan Maroney oversees the CERT program in Ridgecrest. The last day of the training, Maroney stressed the importance of having a trained community and said overseeing the CERT volunteer program was one of his favorite duties. Utes explained being prepared for the safety of people during a large-scale disaster, whether natural or man-made, just means our city is more prepared and can assist when things happen. CERT is a close-knit group that emphasizes the buddy system and stresses the greatest good for the most amount of people. Ute said, "One of the most important things for people to understand in our isolated community is, in the event of a large-scale disaster, we will be on our own. It's extremely important," she said, "that we know how to care for ourselves and have resources necessary to survive prepared in advance." Ute recalled a time in Ridgecrest when a bird hit a transformer. She said it just knocked out electricity to either all or a large portion of the community. After the generators available were snatched up, none were left to go around. Many will recall not having electricity for about 3 days. CERT training is an all-day of 2 Saturdays and a Sunday every May, with monthly follow-up training practices to prepare yourself, your family, and neighbors in the event of a large-scale disaster. Sierra Sands School Board discussion during the general administration portion of the agenda. Superintendent Bell and school board members seemed to appreciate and responded with a nod to public comments concerning the negotiation process and the need for the community to hear and to be heard. In her comments, Jenny Valle included the importance of parental input, but said they don't negotiate. Valle suggested that a survey may be useful. Valle is part of both the Calendar Committee and Site Council. As part of the Site Council, issues are overseen concerning the money pot for both the Local Control and Accountability Plan, as well as the Local Control Funding Formula. The Local Control and Accountability Plan is intended to be a comprehensive planning tool to support pupil outcomes and overall performance used by local educational agencies. Developing goals, specific actions, and expenditures, local educational agencies are recommended to carefully consider how to reflect the services and related expenses for their basic instructional program in relationship to the state priorities. Local educational agencies may reference and describe actions and expenditure in other plans funded by a variety of other fund sources when detailing goals, actions, and expenditures related to the state and local priorities. Also noted is the local control and accountability plans must be consistent with school plans submitted. The local control funding formula provides additional funding for targeted disadvantaged students, English language learners, and foster youth. After the meeting, Valle told KZGN that since the two money pots had been combined, the role of the Site Council input seemed unclear. If you have questions or concerns regarding the Local Control and Accountability Plan, please refer to the Sierra Sands Unified School District website for a form to complete. Stay tuned for news about the Ridgecrest Planning Commission when we come back. The Ridgecrest Planning Commission will meet tomorrow, Tuesday, in City Council chambers at 6 o'clock p.m., where they've scheduled hearing Raj Dillon's request to rebuild and enlarge the gas station located at 1617 North China Lake Boulevard on a project named The Barn. In discussion and action items, there are two Caltrans active transportation projects on the agenda: the Down Street Pedestrian and Bicyclist Facility Improvement Project and the Monroe School Neighborhood Active Transportation Improvement Project. The purpose of the Down Street project is to create a safe environment for pedestrians, especially school children and bicyclists, and to residents to endeavor alternative transportation modes. The Monroe School project would provide infrastructure improvements to one of the oldest neighborhoods in Ridgecrest. The project includes closing of sidewalk gaps along various school and pedestrian routes, installation of ADA-compliant ramps. The purpose of the project is to create safe usage for non-motorist users and to encourage walking to destinations by residents. Caltrans is reaching out to the public and soliciting their input for bicycle and pedestrian needs concerning the proposed improvement projects serving Ridgecrest Charter School and the Monroe Middle School. Quad Nath is partnering with the city to fund these projects. Caltrans is soliciting public input and invites the public to bring their ideas, comments, or concerns on these projects to the meeting tomorrow evening. And additionally, the planning meeting will discuss media and art projects, which are progressing along. The Ridgecrest Area Visitor and Convention Bureau plans to propose media and artwork. Also, the Ridge Project has proposed as a proposal for media and artwork to improve the median on South Norma Street between Upjohn and Bowman. There will be a commissioner report and comments from the commissioner. Ridgecrest Republican Women Federated listened to a presentation from Vince Fong at their May luncheon at the Grape Leaf Friday. Fong is one of 3 Republicans campaigning for the assembly position being vacated by Shannon Grove, who has termed out. Fong presented some of his goals along with his commitment to Kern County. Some of Fong's priorities include lowering taxes on small businesses and hardworking families. He would work to stop reckless spending and demand fiscal accountability. Water was high on his list to work with local, state, and federal leaders for a long-term solution to increase water storage. Strengthening public safety and keeping our neighborhoods safe is on Fong's list of priorities, along with keeping gangs, drugs, and violence out of our schools and off our streets. Fighting government overreach that intrudes on our personal freedoms is also on his list. Fong opened the floor to questions and comments and said he would look into why Sacramento has yet to meet the Federal Help America Vote Act of 2002 and subsequent law to ensure California voter integrity and to stop voter fraud, which disenfranchises everyone's vote. The Help America Vote Act was passed by U.S. Congress in 2002, bringing sweeping reforms to voter systems and voter access identified in the 2000 election. California is the only state yet to meet voting requirements set by law. CHP sobriety checkpoint straight ahead. That's right. The California Highway Patrol Bishop area will conduct a sobriety checkpoint Friday, May 27th in Inyo County. All too often, members of our community are senselessly injured or killed on local roadways by impaired drivers, said Captain Timothy Noyes, area commander of the CHP's Bishop office. Officers will be contacting drivers passing through the checkpoint for signs of alcohol and or drug impairment. The goal of the CHP is to ensure safe passage of each and every motorist. A sobriety checkpoint is a proven effective tool for achieving this goal and is designed to augment existing patrol operations. By publishing our efforts, we believe that we can deter motorists from drinking while driving, Captain Noyes said. The captain emphasized traffic volume permitting all vehicles will be checked for drivers who are under the influence of alcohol and or drugs. Our objective is to send a clear message to those individuals that mixing alcohol and or drugs while driving will not be tolerated. The CHP seeks to enhance highway safety by apprehending the impaired driver. Funding for this checkpoint is provided to the CHP by a grant from the California Office of Traffic Safety through the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, reminding everyone to continue to work together and to bring an end to these tragedies. If you see a drunk driver, call 911. The sobriety checkpoint will be operating Friday from 6 o'clock p.m. until 12 midnight. Now, in KZGN's effort to provide news and information you've requested, here are today's gas prices. The good news is the lowest gas prices are still found right here in Ridgecrest. Gas prices range from a low of $2.47 to a high of $2.99 per gallon. LA Valley gas prices came in second with a low of $2.55 per gallon and a high of $3.33. Lancaster low is $2.65 per gallon and their high is $2.99. Bishop gas prices started at $2.75, with a high topping off at $2.99 per gallon. We'll have gas price updates for you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. As always, when you pay sales tax out of town, you help those communities pave their roads. We at KZGN always suggest you shop locally, where you not only find the lowest prices, but you support our local economy and help pave our roads. Stay tuned for weather and sports when we come back. Thanks for staying with us. Let's go to Lane for the weather.
Thank you, Tanya. From the National Weather Service, severe thunderstorms will be possible over portions of the plains each afternoon and evening this week. The main threats with these storms are expected to be large hail, damaging winds, and a few tornadoes. Locally heavy rainfall could pose a risk for some flooding concerns, particularly over portions of the Great Plains and Mississippi Valley. Temperatures across the nation. Carolinas at 66, Georgia at 79, Arkansas at 81, Northern Texas at 84, Arizona at 80, and Los Angeles at 67. And for us locally, tonight mostly clear with a low around 55, west-southwest wind 15 to 20 miles per hour with gusts as high as 30. Tuesday, sunny with a high near 78, west-southwest wind 10 to 15 miles per hour with gusts as high as 25. Tuesday night, mostly clear with a low around 54, southwest wind 10 to 15 miles per hour with gusts as high as 20. Wednesday, sunny with a high near 77, southwest wind 5 miles per hour. Wednesday night, mostly clear with a low around 55, west wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny with a high near 84, west wind 5 miles per hour. Thursday night, clear with a low around 57, west-southwest wind 10 to 15 miles per hour with gusts as high as 20. And Friday, sunny with a high near 86, west-southwest wind 5 miles per hour. And that is your forecast for the IWV. Now back to Tanya.
Thanks, Lane. Now let's go to Tom Heck for sports.
And a very pleasant Monday early evening to everyone. Let's talk about the NBA just a little bit. Toronto will be taking on Cleveland, game number 4 up in Toronto. Now, Toronto won on Saturday night. They played very, very well. In fact, first time in the series where they played what was some noticeable defense in that game. And LeBron James struggled, and Cleveland just didn't do a very good job on the boards. Kevin Love also had a very tough game for Cleveland, and credit that to the Toronto defense. So we'll see what happens tonight. Game 4, critical game. If Toronto can win that, they would even up the series. If they lose, they'd face elimination at Cleveland on Wednesday night. Okay, just when we thought Golden State might just absolutely waltz through everything, not so. Oklahoma City wins last night. They win by over 30 points against a team, Golden State, that just struggled to shoot from the perimeter and played no defense at all. Oklahoma City shot over 60% from the field in the first half. Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant team up for 63 points between the two of them. Game number 4 Tuesday in Oklahoma City. And Golden State, if they don't win this game, will have their backs to the wall. All right, in the NHL, Tampa Bay over Pittsburgh 4-3. They're 1-1 away from taking the Eastern title. They are 1 game away from getting into the NHL Finals. San Jose and St. Louis, 2 games apiece now. St. Louis over San Jose in St. Louis 6-3 on Saturday. Now, Game 5 will be in San Jose. That will be tomorrow night. All right, the Dodgers, it took them 17 innings, but they salvaged 1 of the 3 games in San Diego this weekend. They beat the Padres 9-5 yesterday. Yasiel Puig in the top of the 17th, bases loaded, hit a single up the middle. That scored 2 runs. The Dodgers got 2 more en route to their 9-5 win. The Angels 1 out away from a win on Saturday night, only to see Baltimore score 3 in the 9th inning. Came back yesterday and won the 3rd game of the series. Baltimore won 2 of the 3 games. The Angels had 13 hits. They scored 10 runs. They beat the Orioles 10-2 in Anaheim. Now the Angels will be in Texas tonight for 3 games. and the Dodgers will be at home tonight against Cincinnati. Speaking of Cincinnati, they were swept this weekend in the Queen City by Seattle. Seattle leads the American League West with Texas one game behind them. The Rangers swept the Astros in Arlington this past weekend. Those are the two teams the Angels are trailing right now. The Angels 5 games back behind Seattle and the Rangers. Also winners yesterday in baseball. Chicago continues to lead the AL Central. They get a win over Kansas City. Kansas City won 2 of the 3 games this weekend. Arizona, Toronto, the Phillies, the Nationals, and the Tigers also in the win column on Sunday. Syracuse will have their first basketball camp the week of June 13 through 17. If you're interested in enrolling your son or daughter, ages 7 and up, you can call 760-384-6384 for more information. That's your sports for this Monday. I'm Tom Heck for KZGN.
Thank you for tuning in to KZGN-TV News, the only news station committed to Ridgecrest and the Indian Wells Valley News.